Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Okay, what I want to talk about is a food militia. Now, when it comes to food, there's different kinds of militias that are going to be involved with this. And you have the preparation, preparing the food, and you have the logistics. In other words, where to get the food. You have the people that will be like growing food, storing food. I would say canning, but I don't know anything about canning. Well, I know very little about canning, and it seems like it's an awful lot of use of resources to can. So, I mean, it's something you can do ahead of time, yes, but after a shit hits the fan situation, canning probably won't be an option. But then there's going to be like dehydrating and this type of stuff. And people are going to have to be in the know of all this. Okay, so I want to break this down one step at a time. Okay, now the part where it comes to preparing food, that's the part I'm pretty much familiar with this. Like I say, I've owned restaurants, so I know what it's like to feed people, how to cook the food. I wish I could say I enjoyed my work, but I did. I don't enjoy cooking. And normally what we did is I did the cooking and my wife took care of the front. She took care of the money. She took care of the people, taking care of the people, making sure everybody was satisfied and happy. And but my part was the cooking part. And I really didn't enjoy it. It's a tremendous a lot of work. A lot of work. So after a shit hits the fan situation, there's going to be a lot of people helping out when it comes to preparing food. I say I did it for a business. And so I looked at it as a business. I did it because it was my job. So I know how to do it. And I coordinated the kitchen. So everybody would be doing their work and I would have to step in and help everybody do whatever needed to be done. And so you're going to have a position like that that's going to be needed to be filled, food preparation. I've mentioned I have a bus, old school bus, and I talked about I've got it set up. I got two things I can do. The front half of the bus is I use it as an office for my Hoi Chi, so I can take away pain and help people improve their lives. And the back part of the bus is where I have equipment, and the equipment is for cooking, and that's what I was talking about, preparing my bus for a kitchen, a mobile kitchen. And It's not that I have food. I don't have food. I don't store food. I got some food stored in there, enough for me, so I got some food stored, but in the way of trying to care for, and I say I'm trying to get it set up for I can feed 200 people a day, and that's 2 meals a day. And that would take, to do that, I know how much equipment and what kind of equipment I'm going to be needing. And much of that will be done over an open fire. And much of that, well, all of it will be done outside of the bus. It's not we're going to be cooking in the bus. We'll be cooking outside the bus. In other words, the bus, and I don't have it done yet, but I'm still working on it. There'll be a canopy along the outside of the bus. That's to keep us from the weather, keep us out of the weather. And this way, because food preparation takes a lot. And so we need an area where we can be out of the weather so we can prepare that food. The awning kind of thing will be on there, so then that'll keep us out of the weather. Just keep the sun off of us and keep the rain off of us. And then if need be, we can put sides up and to keep the wind from blowing through when it gets cold. All this is, I've got to set up. Like I say, I'm out in the country, so I'm going to be setting it up to do work in the country. So a lot of people may know how to cook, and a lot of people think, well, whether they're going to cook. Well, you're going to be using all of your time cooking. I mean, you're going to use the resources you have. The people that you have will be preparing food instead of working on shelters, working on water, security. There's so many things that need to be done after a shit hits the fan situation. And you don't want to have your time cooking. That's why I'm working on getting the bus set up so I can prepare food. And it's going to take, well, I'm going to give you some examples here on some of the stuff you're going to need. Now, I've got a wok. You can go down to Chinese groceries and you can get a wok down there. And they're woks, you don't need to use much soap. Well, you don't use any soap to clean them. You don't need much water to clean them up. You can make a little bit of food in a wok, or you can prepare a lot of food in a wok. And depending on how big your wok is, on how much you can make. The wok is a very useful utensil when you are cooking, especially when you have a fire, cooking over a fire. And so that's why I've got the wok. I need to get more woks, and I need to get what do you call it? Soup pot, big soup pot. Soup is going to be one of the main dishes that will be served after a shit hits the fan situation. Soup is healthy. You can throw almost anything in a soup pot. So that's going to be another thing. And I'm looking at picking that up, a large soup pot. I'll probably be picking that up down here somewhere. But like I say,